But I have to move all these 56 bales here, and all the hay I've got over here has got to go over in the enclosure. Hi, Danny. Let's go down to the pond paddock. Sug, 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 come on. But anyway, I got the 56 bale that were right here. I got all of them moved. All right, folks, I have gotten all of the hay over there moved to the hay lot. I finally remembered the name. All right, folks, here's the deal. I don't have my gloves, and I've got a post driver that I hate. I was trying to drive those posts, and that solid rock out there where I'm driving. That ridge where we keep the hay, that's a rock ridge. So I've got a different post driver at home. I've got my gloves at home, and it has already gotten well hotter than I want to deal with right now. So I've got the cattle moved. I kept them out of the hay while I was moving them through that paddock. So my plan is to get up early in the morning and drive back over here and put about 3 more posts that I need to put in, and string all the wire and start up the hot wire at least in the morning. That's my plan anyway. It's supposed to get into the upper 90s tomorrow. So the earlier the better for me in the morning. And I'm going to try to make it out here early, like 6 or something like that. So anyway, till tomorrow. It'll be just like right now for you guys. All right, I'm hoping you can see all those. But there's a bunch of the deer. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right there. 10 deer. So like I told you folks, there's just a lot of deer. It's a little buck right there. And but anyway, yep, like I said, a lot of deer out here, folks. Let's get this fence done. All right, what I've got here is I've got some insulators. These are plastic. They're not the best. They're what I have. The reason why I ran T-post instead of using a little fiberglass post and stuff like that is because this is solid rock up through here. This whole ridge that I'm on is a rock, and you can't push anything into the ground unless you do it with some kind of a driver, and those other posts just don't drive all that well. So what I'm doing is I'm putting them in between the 11th and 12th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the 11th and the 12th, I put one in, And these are driven in the same depth all the way across. And then I do one between the 10th and 11th below that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So between the 10th and 11th. And my allergies are kicking my butt this morning. All right. So once I do that, I've got the last wire is tight. And what I do, this is just me. Some people do it differently. Do it any way you like, but I do a hitch around it. And what that does is that keeps it tight whenever I take it loose somewhere else. Some people like to pull it all the way through and all that stuff. I'm just not one of those people. So I'm not a fan of hot wire to begin with, so this works for me. Now, so I've got my fence. My fence is done back that way to the other gate. This is all the new area right here. So get over here in the shade. It's going to be in the upper 90s today, hundreds every other day. So anyway, my plan is to run the wire as far as it'll go right here, put loops in it, and then I've got these gate clips. These are gate clips, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put gate clips in, and I'm going to make a gate right here. That way I can pull in over here and pull hay, and I can also pull in down there and get hay without too much trouble. So anyway, let me get more prepared and I'll be right back. So now what I've got to do is I've got to run a piece of wire from right here to right here, and this is going to be a gate right here. So let's get started doing that. This is definitely not a hard thing to do. It's just a kind of a tedious thing to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a loop right in here. And I'm going to cut this one off about the same length. So my loops are relatively close. All right, so now what I do is we're gonna actually have it to where these hook. So I'm going to cut this wire right here to hook into that right there. So I'm going to cut it a little long. So I've got plenty. All right, hook that to that, pull that in there. And to kind of get it tight, what I do is I just pull against the post. It's not going to be tremendously tight because this is a little spring-loaded deal. So it does have some spring to it. So for right now, I'm just going to kind of loop that like that. Now let's put up another one. Like I said, we've got to hook that, figure out how much of this we need, cut it off, peel that through there, pull against it pretty tight, and loop it together. All right, we've got our fence all the way around. So the hay is inside. Got it going over to that T-post over there. Got our fence. Got a wire gate right here. And we got it wired all the way around through there. So all of this area is the new hay lot. Well, you know what they say, if you can't finesse it, like I was trying to do with the brush hog, then brute force it. That's what I'm getting ready to do, brute force it. Alright, I did a little bit. I've cleaned out that area right there. The hardest thing in the world for a tracked machine, a steel tracked machine, is to push rock uphill whenever it's on rock. So that is about the hardest thing you can possibly do with a dozer, is push rock or heavy loads uphill while your tracks are on rock. It's pretty tough. But anyway, I think that's about all I'm going to do right now. right, there's a little Danny update. Danny's in the tall grass. He's a happy camper. He's got his harem right there. And there's the new little calves right there. Yep, life is good in the cattle herd. There's little Danny Star and little Liberty Bell right there. So anyway, let's move along and do something else. All right, I'm out here at the hayfield now, and I'm looking at some more grass in another area. And as I said, it is not tall. Most of this is brome grass, and here there's some Bermuda in here, but mostly brome. So it's not tall yet. Now, whenever you get over there, there's Johnson grass, and that one is tall in that area. And we'll be baling that up. And there's a lot of Bermuda, brome, and Johnson grass. So let me head on around here to another field. This is one field, and we got a field here, and then there's another field. So let me go check that other field out, that last field. All right, like I said, this is, this seatbelt buzz thinger is gonna get me. Let me do something about that. All right, this field has got brome and Johnson grass, some Bermuda, and it's fairly tall. It's way taller than it was the last cutting. So we should do good on this field right here if we cut it in time, because brome will start to flower. And whenever I mean flower, it basically creates, it heads out, and it just makes a seed head that floats in the air and just kind of blows around. And it becomes, the cattle won't eat that. They just won't eat it. So if you catch it early enough, it's good hay. If you don't catch it early enough, it's bad hay. And I think we're gonna have to, by what I'm seeing, we're probably gonna have to catch this in the next, probably a couple of weeks or sooner. All right, so this is another field right here, and it's a little shorter than the field we just came out of. A lot of Bermuda in this field. There's some brome in this field. There's a little bit of Johnson grass in this field, not a lot. So this field is, even though it looks really short, it's very thick, and it'll make a lot more hay than it did on that first cutting. I expect this field to probably put on maybe twice as much hay as it did the first cutting, because a lot of what we got in the first cutting was, we got a lot of weeds and stuff like that. But this time it's mostly grass. I mean, there's some persimmon, little persimmon things popping up out there, but not bad. And this is mostly Bermuda grass. So a lot of Bermuda in this field. And the benefit of the Bermuda, other than for the hay itself, is the fact that the cattle will, it'll seed the pasture. So we'll have Bermuda over there where the cattle are. So let me get out here. This is approximately the place I was the other day whenever you saw me put my foot down in it and show how deep it was. All right, it's gotten a lot deeper, quite a bit deeper. So now, this is what it's like now. I'm approximately the same place where I was the other day. So it's, you know, it's getting up toward knee deep or better. And it's extremely thick. So, yeah, this is gonna make good hay. Again, Johnson grass over there. And so, yep. We're gonna get hay off this one. Now the brome, this is brome right here. And it's coming up. And it's getting up toward that heading out, because it starts heading out. And whenever it heads out, it has a, basically this just blows around. So it'd be good if we can cut it probably before September for sure. So we're about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, I imagine it needs to be cut. So I'll have to talk to the hay cutters. All right. But anyway, that is my fixing up the hay lot, doing a little bit of dozing over there in some rough areas, running the cows back and forth between the paddocks where they need to be, and checking on the hay update. So if you like this type of video, like and subscribe, and I'll continue to bring more content in the future as available. And as always, everybody, God bless.